This is your USMNT Abroad Weekend update from November 21st to November 23rd of 2025. Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And welcome to the US Men's National Team Abroad series, where every single Monday we update you on how the Yanks did abroad over the weekend. And hey, it's Thanksgiving week, so happy early Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoy it with your family, your entire family, even that beer belly uncle that no one likes, but he'll probably be there anyway. I used to have a beer belly uncle, but he died. His name was Ben. We used to call him Uncle Ben, but he got shot like near a library in New York City, and he was all for responsibility. But no one really liked Uncle Ben, and he got shot, and he's dead. Rest in peace, Uncle Ben. But listen, later this week, we will have a very special episode with Herc Gomez. It's just a gift for you prior to Thanksgiving, probably on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the U.S. Men's National Team in the year of 2025, which was kind of a weird year, right? With that said, don't forget to drop a like in this video. Let's try to hit again 1,000 likes in this U.S. Men's National Team Abroad episode. And let me know in the comment section down below, who's your U.S. Men's National Team Abroad player of the weekend? I'll let you know mine at the very end. Why? To make sure you stay. Okay? Let's roll the intro and start the episode. As always, we start with the top 5 leagues in Europe. The first one being the Serie A, the Italian Serie A. Now, I'm not saying that's the best league in Europe or the best league in the world. It's just the one that we start by my own choice. So why don't we talk about Christian Pulisic from Milan? And on Sunday, Christian Pulisic started and played 78 minutes for Milan during their 1-0 win over Inter. Yes, Milan won the Milan derby. And with 12 games into the season, which is a few games, right? That's like 1/4 or over 1/4 of the league. They sit in second place, only 2 points behind Roma. And they don't have any continental competition. No Europa League, no Champions League, which means Milan actually is in the title race. They could win the Scudetto, but let's hold our horses right there. Let's wait and see what happens. How did Pulisic do in the derby? Okay, just to cut it short, Pulisic was very good. He gave Milan the win by scoring their goal. The goal was a tap-in off a rebound from a long-distance shot, and you can try to downplay the tap-in all you want, but someone had to be there to score. There were 10 other Milan players. None of them were there. Pulisic scored. I wasn't there. You weren't there. He scored. So as much as people like to downplay tap-ins, someone has to be there to tap it in. And that's what Pulisic did. He scored, and Milan won the game thanks to his goal. He was by far their best player, or their best field player. The man of the match, in my opinion, and the opinion of everyone, was Magnan, the goalkeeper, right? He saved the penalty kick, and he was simply incredible throughout the match. Even though the penalty kick wasn't really a penalty kick. And you know what they say, politicians lie, but the ball does not lie. Christian Pulisic didn't only score the game-winning goal. He was consistently Milan's most dangerous player. And he wasn't as inefficient or ineffective as Rafael Leão, that just kept losing the ball left and right. Pulisic's decision-making was great, work rate was great, and he scored the goal. Despite Milan mostly struggling throughout the game, I mean, Inter is the better team despite losing this one. Massive win for Milan. And this video is brought to you by Prungo, but more on that later. Now let's talk about Yunus Musa from Atalanta. And on Saturday, Musa stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes once again for Atalanta during their 3-1 loss to Napoli. Musa has played a total of 8 minutes over the past 6 games. It's kind of crazy how one of our most promising players in the 2022 World Cup, he was incredible there, he's actually not even close to making the roster in 2026. Which, if you go back to 2022 and you tell me that Musa won't even make the roster for the 2026 World Cup, I would call you crazy. But that's about to happen. Next up, we have Weston McKennie from Juventus. And on Saturday, McKennie started and played the full 90 minutes for Juve during their 1-1 draw with Fiorentina. And I would say McKennie had a good game. He had 1 or 2 moments where he almost got an assist. He worked very hard. He was the player that covered the most distance, once again, helping a lot on both ends. He did also have a header late in the game that was pretty nice, and it was on target, but the goalkeeper saved it. So he could have easily ended this game with a goal contribution if he was a little bit more lucky. and he also played as an attacking midfielder in a 3-4-2-1 formation, essentially how I think Pochettino will utilize Weston McKennie. And understand that when McKennie plays as an attacking midfielder in a 3-4-2-1, it's very different from how Christian Pulisic, Tillman, and Gio Reyna play. He's not really a playmaker in that role. He kind of crashes the box. He's very dangerous. It's almost as if he plays like a shadow striker, a second striker, in an attacking midfielder position, if that makes any sense. Last but not least, in Italy, we have Ben Cremaschi from Parma, but he got 0 minutes this weekend, as expected. Okay, now let's talk about the Americans in the English Premier League. The first one being Chris Richards from Crystal Palace. And on Saturday, Chris Richards started and played 83 minutes for Crystal Palace, helping them hold a clean sheet during their 2-0 win over Wolves. He had another great performance, but unfortunately, he left before the full 90 minutes due to an injury. It looked like a hamstring injury, but Larry Henry Jr. reported what Oliver Glasner, the Crystal Palace coach, had to say about it after the game. And based on what he said, we should be optimistic that it's not anything too serious. And this is what he said. He said Richards was cramping. Maybe we gave him too long off because he wasn't called up for the United States. He had the first week of international break off. Hopefully, it's nothing serious. Glasner expects to have Chris Richards for the Conference League trip to Strasbourg on Thursday, which means Richards should be fine, hopefully. Next up would have been A-Rob from Fulham, a player that has been dealing with a knee problem, so he should probably use Prungo and red light therapy. We'll talk about Prungo very soon in this video. So A-Rob was still not available for Fulham, so we're going to have to skip him and talk about Tyler Adams from Bournemouth. And on Saturday, Tyler started and played 80 minutes for Bournemouth during their 2-2 draw with West Ham. Now, the second goal that Bournemouth conceded was mostly on Tyler Adams. He let Callum Wilson turn on him in the box way too easily to finish and score. It wasn't a terrible mistake, but he could have and should have done better. Outside of that, he was great on and off the ball. He was probably one of their best performers. He rarely plays poorly for Bournemouth. So yes, he made a mistake in my opinion and it led to West Ham scoring, but the overall performance from Tyler was very good, especially in the second half. Next up, we have Brendan Aronson from Leeds. And on Sunday, Aronson started and played 80 minutes for Leeds during their 2-1 loss to Aston Villa. Just to make things short here, he wasn't good. And he can't really be an English Premier League starter. If they want to have Brendan Aronson off the bench, he could be useful. But if he's a starter, you will probably get relegated, and I think Leeds might get relegated. Aronson is useful at many levels, but his main quality is that he works hard. And that just isn't enough for the English Premier League. I'm sorry, but it's true. Alright, now before we continue, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, Prungo. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back very soon. And in the meantime, don't forget to drop a like. As you may already know, I love playing soccer. What you don't know is that I've gone through 3 knee surgeries that kept me out of the fields for 3 years. And ever since I came back, I've been dealing with chronic knee pain, muscle soreness, muscle injuries, and much more. So I talked to a few former professional players and physical therapists that recommended red light therapy. And today, we are proud to partner with Prungo. And Prungo specializes in the next generation of red light therapy devices designed to support recovery, reduce pain, and help athletes address issues such as swelling, muscle strains, and pain in areas such as your calves, knees, groin, joints, you name it. It's also very portable, so you can pretty much take it anywhere you go, even when you're traveling. You know, the multi-screen and multi-part feature is what I like the most about this, because it makes it a lot easier to put it whatever part of your body that you need accordingly with the pain that you have, whether it's your calves, neck, back, shoulder, elbow. You can also break it down into different parts, different pieces. And what I have here is the Prungo Flux Go, a wearable, lightweight red light therapy device designed to support recovery, reduce joint pain, and prevent overuse injuries without the need for needles or medication. It's been helping me a lot, relieving pain, recovery, and honestly, it also helps me regain my inner energy and confidence. Because you know, if you go out to play basketball or soccer and everything hurts, you play like crap, it sucks. And make sure to take advantage of their Black Friday deal since it's the lowest price it's been all year. The link is in the description. And if you use the link in the description, along with helping yourself, you are also helping the channel in the process. So thank you very much, Prungo, for partnering up with Tactical Manager. Okay, We are back, and hopefully by now you have already dropped a like in this video and a random comment to rig the YouTube algorithm. Okay, so let's talk about the Americans in Germany, in the Bundesliga. The first one being Tillman from Leverkusen. And on Saturday, Tillman started and played 64 minutes for Leverkusen during their 3-1 win over Wolfsburg. And Tillman had a pretty good first half. He scored the third goal for them. It was late in the first half, and that gave them a 3-0 lead. It was a pretty good play from Leverkusen that led to Tillman getting the ball in a good position, dribbling forward on his own for like 20 to 30 yards roughly, which eventually led to a 1v1 at the goalkeeper. And Tillman scored with a calm, cold, and clinical finish. He also got an assist according to FootMob. But it wasn't really an assist. It was an assist. Actually, it wasn't even an assist. It wasn't an assist at all. It was a cross. I think Grimaldo put up the cross, and it was a low cross. So Tillman tried to hit the ball, and he kind of completely missed it. It might have hit his ankle. It might have hit him, sorta, and deflected the ball. But that's not an assist. They counted it, but it's not an assist because then his teammate came in, cleaned it up, and scored. They gave him the assist. We'll take it. But I'm just calling a spade a spade. I don't know how someone gets credit for that. Now, Tillman was subbed out early in the second half. One, because he's coming back from an injury. And also because Leverkusen was off to a shaky start in the second half, almost allowing Wolfsburg to come back from a 3-0 deficit. Regardless, if you take into account his overall performance, Tillman was very good. Next up, we have Joe Scally and Gio Reyna from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And on Saturday, Scally started and played the full 90 minutes for Gladbach during their 3-0 win over Heidenheim. And Scally was actually quite good defensively and on the ball. As for Gio Reyna, he was subbed in the 72nd minute for Gladbach when they already had a 2-0 lead. And Gio did fine. He was able to draw a dangerous free kick. He did almost get an assist by setting up his teammate that missed the target. It wasn't a fantastic performance, but he looked fine. It was a positive performance off the bench for the American James Rodriguez. That's what we're going to call him going forward. He struggles for club or struggles to get minutes for club, but he balls out for country. So he's the American James Rodriguez. The good news here is that Gladbach has won 3 games in a row now, and it looks like they will not be in the relegation battle. Next up, we have Noah Kai Banks from Augsburg. And on Saturday, Banks started and played the full 90 minutes for Augsburg during their 1-0 win over Hamburger, a city that literally created burgers. And then Americans took it over and made them better. Yeah, look it up. Burgers were created in Hamburger. That's a city in Germany. But we got it and we made it better. How? Simply by putting bread on it. As for Noah Kai Banks, he was good. He was solid once again. Now, mind you, Hamburger is the worst offense in the league, the worst one in the Bundesliga. So holding a clean sheet against them is the bare minimum, but they did it. Banks will continue to start if he continues to play like this. And keep in mind, Schlotterbeck, one of Augsburg's center backs, got a red. And he will be suspended for the next game. So for sure, he will start, right? Noah Kai Banks. And you know what? It's been a pretty good season for his development. And I would not be surprised if he makes it to the 2026 World Cup roster. Next up, we have James Sands from St. Pauli. He started for them and played the full 90 minutes this Sunday during their 1-0 win over Union Berlin. But very quickly, let me go through Leonard Maloney. Because on Friday, Maloney started and was subbed out at halftime for Mainz during their 1-1 draw with Hoffenheim. And now, why am I covering Leonard Maloney? Well, it's because he's playing a center back for them in a back 3. So he could become relevant for the US men's national team if he plays well. Now, I didn't watch this game. I'm going to try to catch the next few to see how he's doing. But I just wanted to report on that because, I don't know, it seems relevant. Now, keep in mind, his team has been complete crap. Okay, next up is actually Johnny Cardoso from Atletico Madrid in Spain, but he was once again an unused sub for Atletico Madrid. He came back for them from an ankle injury, a nasty ankle injury, like 3 games ago. And since he's gotten 0 minutes, and Atletico Madrid is flaming hot right now. They're winning every single game in front of them. That's not good for Johnny, but I think eventually those minutes will ramp up. It's just that they're winning games, so I can see why Simeone doesn't want to mess with the team. And Johnny just came back from an injury that kept him out of the field for what? Close to 60 days. However, it is a little bit concerning. Now let's talk about the Americans that play in France. The first one being Florentin Balogun from Monaco. He didn't play because he was suspended. Last game he got a red card, so he couldn't play this weekend. So let's skip Balogun and talk about Tim Weah from Marseille. And on Friday, Weah started and played a very good 90 minutes for Marseille during their 5-1 win over Nice, which is spelled nice. One of the goals came off a cross that he sent in. He didn't really get the assist, but he played a role in that goal. He did also score a goal, and it was a rocket of a shot. It was an incredible shot, a beautiful goal from inside the box. That was one powerful strike, and he's got to be careful of that. You could kill someone with those. Oh, and he did play right back, which reinforces the idea that Mauricio Pochettino might only utilize Weah as a wing back going forward for the US men's national team. Next up is Marc Mackenzie from Toulouse. And on Sunday, Mackenzie started and played 83 minutes for Toulouse during their 1-0 loss to Angers. Last but not least, in France, we have Tanner Tessman from Lyon. And on Sunday, Tessman started and played the full 90 minutes for Lyon during their 0-0 draw with Auxerre. I wasn't able to watch Tanner Tessman this weekend, even though I do most of them, but he was Lyon's highest rated player, or highest rated field player on FootMob. Now, always take those ratings with a grain of salt, but he got like a 7.7, so he very likely was at least decent. But if you watched the game, let us know in the comment section down below, how did Tanner Tessman do? Because, you know, I watch a lot of games over the weekend, but I can't watch every single game. Now let's talk about the Americans in the Netherlands, the ones that play in the Eredivisie, more specifically, the two that play for PSV, Ricardo Pepi and Serginho Dest. And on Saturday, Dest started and played the full 90 minutes for PSV during their 1-0 win over NAC Breda. And PSV won, but I didn't really think they played well, and that includes Serginho Dest. This game could have easily ended 1-1. I don't know, I just think they underperformed in my opinion. As for Ricardo Pepi, he came off the bench around the 70th minute, and he barely touched the ball. He did have a header that was saved by the goalkeeper, but that's about it. I don't really remember anything else. I was looking forward to this PSV game. I thought Pepi and Dest would be able to stat pad versus a relegation zone team in the Eredivisie. Those are really bad teams. But the game was actually quite disappointing, and clearly they didn't stat pad. Nobody did. Okay, let's leave the Netherlands and go back to England so we can talk about the Americans that play in the EFL Championship, which is the second division of England. The first one being Josh Sargent from Norwich. And on Saturday, Sargent started and played 88 minutes for Norwich during their 4-1 loss to Birmingham City. Norwich is now balls deep into the relegation zone. They're 5 points behind the first team out. And Sargent has been held scoreless for the past 12 games. Now, Haji Wright from Coventry, he didn't play for them this weekend due to jet lag, which is a bit weird, because what's the time zone difference from where the US played and England? It's like 5 hours, 6 hours maybe. He also got back to England on Wednesday. The game was on Saturday, but those were the reports that Haji Wright was not available due to jet lag. Who am I to judge? Next up, we have Aidan Morris from Middlesbrough. And on Saturday, Aidan Morris was not jet lagged, and he started and played 62 minutes for Middlesbrough during their 1-1 draw with Oxford United, not the university. Last but not least in England, we have Ajiman from Derby County. And on Saturday, Ajiman started and played 70 minutes for Derby County during their 3-2 loss to Watford. I missed this game this weekend, unfortunately. I'll get Ajiman next weekend. Every time I watch him, he plays like poop. Okay, so who is my player of the weekend? It's pretty obvious. It's Christian Pulisic. He scored the game-winning goal to win it for Milan in the Milan derby. Who else would I give it to? Along with that, he actually played well. It wasn't just a goal. So my player of the weekend is Christian Pulisic. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Alright everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. Don't forget to check out also Prungo Red Light Therapy. If you have joint pain, muscle pain, I've been using it and it's been great for myself, so go check it out yourself. The link will be in the description of this video. And that's all for today. On Wednesday or Thursday, we should get the Hurt Gomez video out, which is a very good one. And then we'll probably rest for a few days and get ready for the World Cup group stage draw, which is next week. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and have a great day.